Hello. Welcome to the monthly roundup of Crizzy Books. I'm Crizzy, or Criz, but only my homeboys call me Criz. February has come and gone, and with its departure, it's time for me to recap everything that I read, as well as all of the other stuff that I did this month that I think is worth talking about. So, let's just get into it, starting off with all of the things that aren't books. If you want to get to the book part, you can skip ahead.
Hello. How are you?
I think I only saw about 3 movies this month. No Other Choice, which is a Korean movie by director Park Chan-wook. The dude has made some all-out bangers in his career, like some of the best movies ever, like Old Boy or The Handmaiden. I mean, that's like The Handmaid's a fucking masterpiece. It's about a guy who loses his job. In order to get a new one, he decides he's going to kill his competition, quite literally. It's funny, but it's really dark, and it's got a lot of like tension and suspense. Sorry Baby. This was really good too, although very sad. This is about a woman who is in her grad program for English, and she gets raped by one of her professors. And so it's all about her life kind of before and after that. It's told in a non-linear fashion, and just kind of how she deals with all of that stuff. The ending monologue in it was beautiful and awesome, and so I really loved that. But I mean, overall, my wife wanted to watch this one. This is not typically what I want to watch. It's just so sad. It's a good movie, though. It's really good. And finally got around to seeing The Long Walk, the Stephen King adaptation. I love that book. The Vietnam, kind of allegory, is that right? It's all over this one, which I thought was really cool. However, the ending, they changed the ending for some weird reason, because it's like they don't even really commit to changing the ending, so it still kind of basically ends the same way the book does, but they just like kind of like, I don't know, they like slightly changed it, and I was kind of like, why did they do that? Like, it just made no sense to me. I don't think it really detracted from the movie at all, but just as somebody who has read the book and loves it, it's just like, you didn't need to do that. Pretty faithful, dark, very dark, and just definitely doesn't hold back on a lot of the, more brutal parts of that book. TV, only really watched a couple things this month. The Pit is back. Love The Pit. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is the clear, like, wow. Great TV. We are so back. I wish that the episodes were longer, but I think that really just says so much about how good the show is at keeping your interest and making you love these characters. Like, they just nailed every aspect of it. If you like Game of Thrones, hell, even if you don't really have to know much about it to watch it. I highly recommend it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved it. Definitely the best TV show of the year so far, and we just got started. So just happy to see Game of Thrones being so back. But in terms of video games, I actually played quite a few this month. One that carried over from the past few months that I've been playing is Star Wars Outlaws. This game is a little all over the place in terms of like what I think of it, but I did enjoy it for the most part. I played it all the way to the end. It's just another one of those like Ubisoft games where there's a million things to do, kind of like Assassin's Creed, but set in Star Wars, and there's a lot of upgrades and progression and just crazy places to explore and things to find. I love games like that, and for it being a Star Wars game, it held my interest for quite a while. It did leave me wanting a little more, I think, but for the most part, I think it did enough things right that I enjoyed it. After that, I played a game called the Talos Principle 2. This is a puzzle game. The closest thing that I can think of to it is like Portal. I couldn't have cared less about the story that was happening. I was just there to figure things out. And it didn't disappoint at all. I really enjoyed it. There were some that I was like, I have no idea. Like, just totally stumped me. I think I'm probably going to end up buying the first one. I love games like that I have to just really think about finding a solution. High on Life 2, this was a letdown. So boring. They tried to do a couple of different things, and it was funny at times, but it mostly just felt like, I don't know, boring. I didn't feel like I was really having fun. I was just playing a game. I kind of just felt nothing about it, to be totally honest. Avatar, what is it, Frontiers of Pandora? I'm guessing on that one. I don't even know what it's called, but it's the Avatar game. This one was weird at first and pretty frustrating, but I love like open world games like this. Again, another Ubisoft game. I'm a sucker for these things. I don't know what's wrong with me. As I progressed in it though, it has gotten so much more enjoyable once you start figuring things out. It's very much like Far Cry. There are a million things to find, and the map is insanely big. Like, maybe the biggest map of any game I've ever played. It's kind of obnoxious. I just got a flying thing, a flying creature, and I can confidently go into outposts and take everybody down with ease. I'm feeling good. I like it. Let's talk about the books that I read last month. That's probably why you're here. Read a lot this month, like surprisingly. Looking at the list now, I picked 4 books to read last month. I did not think I was going to finish all of them, and I did, with time left to read even more. There wasn't really a single book that I didn't like. One that I thought was pretty mediocre, but we'll talk about that. Started the month off reading Mistborn 3, The Hero of Ages, finishing off the Mistborn saga, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. I have nothing bad to say about this series at all. It was so action-packed. It swerved me constantly to where I thought that I had stuff figured out, and I did not, and I was wrong, and I love that. I wasn't as super into a lot of these characters, but by the end of it, I loved all of them, and I felt like they were all fleshed out. Even ones that I was like, I don't even know why this character is being highlighted right now, ended up being like, oh, cool. I highly recommend it. If you haven't read Mistborn, especially if you're like me, you don't read a ton of fantasy. I mean, great starting point. The Gone World by Tom Sveterlich. This is a science fiction book about a woman who is an NCIS investigator. There is time travel, but you can only travel forward. You can't go back in time. You can travel forward and then return to the present. That's how it works. And there's this big, giant, crazy, like apocalyptic event that is occurring in the future because it's like been discovered. It keeps moving forward in time, like closer to the present. And so they're trying to figure out, like, how do we stop this thing, or who is responsible for making this happen so much quicker. She is tasked with finding out who those people are and why that's happening. It was great. I thought this book was fantastic. Almost a 5-star, like just barely not. I love the way it was written. I loved all of the characters, the setting. It's very much like a science fiction version of True Detective. It has a lot of True Detective vibes and like imagery where you don't really know what the hell's going on, and then things are changing and weird symbols are popping up. It is very hardcore. It's bloody and violent, but it's also like super intriguing, and the mystery is just at the core of it. And you're just wondering, like, what in the hell is going on? I thought it was great. I would definitely read it. I reread Jurassic Park. I read Jurassic Park probably over a decade ago. I remember not loving it. I remember thought that it was like totally fine. But since then, I know a lot of people who've read it, and I see a lot of people online saying how much they love Jurassic Park, and I'm like, did I miss something? Like, maybe I'm wrong. And so let me go back and reread it. No, I was right. My opinion still stands that the original Jurassic Park is mid. It just felt like a big series of action-packed events that I didn't feel like were really justified or had any type of like clear, direct line of logic to say, this is why this is happening now. It was just like, this big thing just happened, and then, oh, now this big thing is happening, and now this big thing is happening. It just kept doing that, which I honestly probably could have taken if Crichton didn't take the subject matter so seriously. You know, he's very like Mr. Techno and like science, and like he injects that all over his books, and it just felt like, okay, if you're going to try and make this realistic, explain the science behind this, then maybe make the actual events make sense. But to each his own. It's not a bad book, not at all. I can see why people love it. It's just not really for me. However, I read the sequel right after, The Lost World, and I liked it way more. I thought that this was a much better book and a great sequel. Unpopular opinion. Far more exciting. I felt like the events and the timeline of everything happening made total sense. And the characters, while 100% derivative of the gang from the first book, stood out a little more. The characters weren't as flat. The action in this is relentless, but also very fun. And again, it just makes sense. I think that this one's wildly underrated. It ends pretty abruptly, but whatever. I think that everything else in it I had a lot of fun. Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi. This is a horror novel about a all-boys orphanage that is run by some Catholic priests. And then one night, a crazed man shows up at their door, and they bring him in to help him, and then it turns out that this guy is possessed. Upon his death, shit goes crazy. It gets nuts. It just becomes this horrific tale of survival amongst these boys and also like the guys who run the school. Such a solid book. I really enjoyed it. I love like religious horror. Anything with like demons or like witches or, cults or anything like that. I love that stuff. And this one just absolutely did not disappoint. All the characters in this are really well done. They're all incredibly unique from each other, and they all have like some type of like internal struggle or arc that they go through that all felt just right. It was so good. And finishing the month off with Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is my newest series that I've started. I am about 3/4 of the way done. So far, it is pretty much exactly what I expected, which is a good thing. It takes place on a made-up country called Kikon, in a city called Janloon. This city is controlled by clans. These clans consist of people who are called Greenbones. Jade, like Jade the Rock, it has like magical properties to it for the right person who can wield it. There's only certain people who can use Jade to their advantage. It gives you all different types of powers. It gives you like speed. There's like channeling, deflect bullets. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. There's 2 clans within Janloon of Greenbones. There's the Mountain and there's No Peak. These 2 clans used to be one group that helped win this big world war and gain their independence from the rest of the world. But in that time, those clan members have all died. They're all old. And the new generation is here, and they don't really care about the old ways, and they don't really care about unification and peace. The Mountain Clan has started basically an open war against the No Peak Clan. We follow No Peak and their family, the people at the top. I think that these characters are just awesome, and I really like this world. I like this kind of, I guess they call it urban fantasy. The setting is just cool. It's a great setting, and I like that it's fantasy, but it doesn't really feel like fantasy. The characters having Jade is like a very central core part of this story, but you don't see them use those powers nearly as often as you would think. It's like The Godfather or something. This is like a gangster story with this like magical power thing woven into it. Probably going to finish it up here within the next day or so. And now I get to pick the books that I'm reading this month. If you don't know, if you're new here, how I pick the books that I'm going to read every month, I have a very long list that you probably can't see, but I have a long list that I absolutely 100% want to read. The list is numbered, and so every month I'll pick 3 or 4 using a random number generator, and that's what I read. It takes the guesswork out of it for me, but it also ensures that I read the things that I want to, because if I just leave it up to myself, I'm going to read whatever I'm excited about the most at the time and just keep up putting off all of those books that I know that I want to read. So, book number 1, 62. Ooh! It is going to be True Grit by Charles Portis. I have been wanting to read this one for quite some time. I'm only familiar with the movie. This is actually great because I have an idea for a video about Westerns coming up pretty soon. So look forward to that. Book number 2, 48, is going to be Ender's Game. Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Another one that I've been wanting to read for so long. This is like the science fiction classic. 39. Maggie's Grave by David Sodergren. Folk horror novel, small isolated Scottish town, haunted by the vengeful ghost of a witch buried on a nearby mountain, leading gruesome events as the dead refuse to stay buried. Awesome. Okay, so witch, ghost, Scotland, gore. Okay, sounds great. And Last one. 58. The Sisters Brothers by Patrick DeWitt. Another Western. Wow. It's somewhat of a comedic story about two brothers, one of which has a bounty on his head. It sounds like people are chasing him down to try and kill him. Okay, pretty good batch this month. Very excited. And once I finish those, depending on timing, I'll definitely be reading Jade War. But how was your month? How was February for you? What did you read? What was the best thing that you read this month? Let me know in the comments down below. If you are on Goodreads or Fable, you can follow me on both. You can see what I'm reading now, what I've read in the past, all that great stuff. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye.